Good morning. This is the time and place for the Planning Hearing Officer hearing for March 16th, 2022. My name is Dennis Joe, and I will be conducting the hearing as hearing officer. Due to COVID-19 novel coronavirus and health recommendations from the LA County Health Department, this hearing is conducted public virtually with no members of the public present. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from the safety of their homes to practice social distancing. The Planning Hearing Officer meeting is broadcast live on GTV6, viewable on Spectrum Cable, Channel 6, and AT&T UVerse and Channel 99. Meetings are streamed live on high definition on the city's webpage, glendaleca.gov/live, on youtube.com/myglendale, and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire devices using a free app called ScreenWeave and choosing Glendale TV from the menu. Meetings are also archived on the city's website for viewing anytime at glendaleca.gov/agendas. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting questions and comments in real time to the appropriate persons. We have a single case involving discretionary permit applications. The hearing will proceed as follows. I will read the description of the application and request. I will read the reports received from other departments and other letters or communications from interested parties. The case planner will make a brief overview of the case, provide analysis, and make a recommendation. The applicant then will be connected by telephone, stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within 15-minute time limits. Others in support of or in opposition to the application and interested parties will be connected by telephone to give comments, again, clearly stating both name and address within the 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments, if desired, in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers with a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will be closed and the case will be taken under submission. Findings. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the required findings set forth in the municipal code, then the project can be either approved or approved with conditions. If the findings of facts are not evident, then the request will be denied. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in form of a letter sent to the applicant and all persons who respond to the public notice by either speaking at the hearing or by submitting written responses and have their name, provided their name and mailing addresses. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Record of decisions for all projects will be posted online on the Planning Division's website. Under appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 3062 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal must contact the case planner to obtain forms and information regarding the appeal process and submittal. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by use of public notices, which was mailed to property owners located within 500 feet of the subject property. It was physically posted on the site in question and placed in the local newspaper. I would like to also inform everyone that the official proceedings of the Planning Hearing Officer meeting are being televised live and may be viewed online on the city's website. Okay, moving on to the first and only item we have this morning is a standards variance case number PVAR 2117885 and PVAR 2117884 for the address locations of 2300 Gardner Place and 2303 Pennerton Drive. The applicant of record is Jake Weber. And to go over the project description, this involves a standard variance to replace 2 retaining walls, approximately 88 feet long by 9 feet high and 37 feet long by 6 feet high along the interior property line between 2 subject properties zone R1, R2, and adjacent to 4 oak trees. Glendale Municipal Code Section 3030.010B2A3 requires retaining walls to be limited to 3 feet in height if located within 5 feet of the interior property line and 5 feet in height between 5 feet and 10 feet from the interior property line. Next, I will read the interdepartmental comments received from this project from other departments. From our Public Works Land Development, Their comment was an encroachment permit shall be required for portions of the walls encroaching into the public right-of-way on Pennerton Drive. And from our Urban Forestry Division, they had commented that the project is supportable based on the conditions that the applicant or the application were to receive approval of an indigenous tree permit and follows the tree protection measures by or recommended by the indigenous tree report dated December 3rd, 2021, which was submitted with the application. And from our from our fire prevention and public works maintenance services, they did not have comments in regards to the nature of this request. And next, I'd like to call on our case planner, Cassandra Pruitt, to provide a brief presentation and analysis. Ms. Pruitt, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, hearing officer and members of the public. I'm going to pull up a presentation.
And just to confirm, I see the PowerPoint slides are ready.
Thank you. So in this presentation, I will outline the staff report, analysis, and recommendation. And as you stated, 2300 Gardner Place and 2303 Pennerton Drive. These two sites are located in the Glen Oaks Canyon neighborhood where Pennerton Drive turns into Gardner Place. And the subject walls, which are indicated in red in this slide, are located along the property line between the two affected properties, which are indicated in blue. 2303 Pennerton Drive is to the north, towards the top of the slide, and 2300 Gardner is to the south, just below that. The walls are not visible from Pennerton Drive and Gardner Place, but the east-west wall here is visible from Arch Place, a dead-end street located downslope to the west. This slide shows the site plan drawing of the walls. The longer wall that runs generally east-west ranges in height from 4 feet to 9 feet along the wall, with a 4-foot wrought iron railing on top of the western half of it. The shorter wall that runs generally north-south ranges in height from 4 feet to almost 6 feet. As a note, subsequent to the staff report being posted online, the applicant provided a drawing to clarify the section cuts that are shown on sheet S5 of the plan set. So views numbered from 4 to 10 on that sheet are cut along the east-west wall. At these locations shown in black on this slide. I'm just trying to advance the slides and they're not moving, so just a sec here. Hearing officer, can you hear me? Seems to be frozen on my end.
I could hear, I can still hear you and see your slide.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Seems there was a delay on that. Very long one. So this photo shows the east-west wall is visible from Arch Place. The grade on the other side of the wall, which is shown in the lower right-hand corner, aligns to the top of the wall. So essentially the backyard of 2300 Gardner Place, which is this grade here, is held up by this wall. The north-south wall, which runs along this way, provides terracing in the backyard at 2300 Gardner Place. At the top is the grade level that joins with the street, and the bottom is the grade level for the backyard. As you can see in these photos, the walls are failing and need to be repaired. The project proposal is to reinforce the wall in certain sections and repair or rebuild the wall in other sections, substantially maintaining the same wall heights and locations. However, the Glendale Municipal Code requires walls within 5 feet of the interior property line to be no more than 3 feet in height, excuse me. And walls within 5 feet to 10 feet of the interior property line to be no more than 5 feet in height. The strict application of these standards would result in practical difficulties and unnecessary hardship inconsistent with the general purpose and intent of the ordinance. Because to reconstruct those walls at the heights required by code would result in significant regrading along both sides of the wall. That would either harm the 4 adjacent oak trees on this side, or if the grading were to take place on the other side, it would essentially remove the backyard of 2300 Gardner Place. The 4 trees indicated in green are protected under the city's Glendale Municipal Code and are proposed to be maintained as part of the project. By the way, those are oak trees. So to address the findings of fact, given that only one of the walls is visible from a dead-end street with minimal traffic, the benefit gained by reconstructing the walls at the code required height would not outweigh the harm to the protected trees and neighboring properties caused by the significant alteration of terrain and damage to native vegetation and open space, and would not be in compliance with the intent of the ordinance, which is to minimize grading and prevent large, unattractive walls that are incompatible with surrounding properties. These facts demonstrate the first required finding of fact is made. The exceptional circumstances or conditions applicable to the property that do not apply generally to others in the same zone or neighborhood are the fact that the backyard of 2300 Gardner is essentially held up by the walls and appears to have been the case for many decades, and the adjacent 4 oak trees protected under the city's indigenous tree ordinance. These facts address the second required finding of fact. The granting of the variance will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in such zone or neighborhood in which the property is located, because the project will maintain an existing condition that has existed for decades without apparently causing harm to the neighborhood, and the walls are minimally visible to the street and surrounding properties, and they don't impact any other properties than the 2 that are the subject of this application. These facts address the third required finding of fact. Granting a variance to allow the retaining walls in order to preserve 4 oak trees and minimize alteration of landform will not be contrary to the objectives of the ordinance. As I stated several times, the walls are minimally visible from the adjacent public rights of way and have existed on the site for many years without any known issues in terms of neighborhood compatibility. Also, the wall improvements will comply with the code requirement that retaining walls in hillside zones be decorative and complementary in color to the natural terrain. Therefore, it would not be contrary to the objective of the ordinance, which is to prevent large, unattractive walls incompatible with surrounding properties. For all of these reasons, and as more fully described in the staff report, staff believes the required findings of fact for granting a variance approval have been proven to be true, and staff recommends approval of the variance request with the conditions of approval outlined in the staff report, including maintaining the existing oak trees. In terms of public comment, staff received no comments from the public regarding this project. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pruitt. Just going over the analysis, I'm just going to ask a clarification question. If the walls were to be replaced with 3-foot walls in compliance with code, it appears that there would be significant grading on both sides of the property, as it would gradually step the topography in either way. If it were to go towards 2300 Gardner Place, it would result into removal of the existing yard, which it seems like that existing wall is holding up their existing backyard. Or if it were to go towards and terrace towards 2303 Pennerton, in that case, it would cause significant landform and grading, which would, I think it's identified in the indigenous tree report that additional fill and grading would cause some damage to the protected oak trees, limiting it with access to water and air. So I think those are the outlined hardship and exceptions that were outlined. I think I got the essence. Is that correct, Ms. Pruitt?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I have any further questions. So moving next, I'd like to call on the applicant or his or her representative for this portion of the public hearing?
Yes, good morning. My name is Steve Mizuki. Jake Weber is the applicant. However, he had an family emergency, and is out of town. So I'm filling in for him. We work together. I'm the architect on the project. Cassandra did a great job presenting the facts and scope of the work. What I'd like to also explain is that the civil engineers have proposed a new retaining wall that will be built actually in front or behind, be sistered to the existing retaining wall, so that we don't interrupt the backyard or any of the downslope areas with the new retaining wall. So the existing retaining wall, if you look at the pictures, they're in pretty bad condition because of partially because of the oak trees, the roots causing cracks on the retaining walls. And so the new retaining wall is going to be, the proposal is to build it right next to the existing one. And so I just wanted to clarify that. And then I think Cassandra presented all the other issues that were part of the variance of the oak trees and the heights of the retaining wall. So I think that's the main point that I want to also add to her presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mizuki. I do have a follow-up question with you. Have you had a chance to take a look at the Arbus report dated December 3rd, 2021, and the recommended conditions for construction and some of the identified construction potential impacts? I think, as you identified, since this wall would be sistered in front of it, I think this report, what they're recommending is that concrete piles, which reach to 15 feet in depth, would be used in lieu of like a trenched solid footing along the perimeter. Is that something you're acceptable to?
Yes, correct. Yeah, we're acceptable to that.
Okay. That's all I have for the time being.
Okay, thank you.
See that we do not have any callers or interest from the public regarding this project. I think I have all the facts and exhibits and the presented findings to take this case under submission. Just to conclude, Mr. Mizuki, have you had a chance to take a read the staff report and all the recommended conditions from Ms. Pruitt, and whether you agree to all the conditions?
Yes, I did go through that, and we do agree to the conditions.
Okay. I think I have everything here, and I can take this case under submission. I do anticipate maybe about a week and a half to have a rendered decision out. And I'm going to take this in. So at this point, I'd like to officially close this hearing and thank everyone for their participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.